The INEC chairman job is a graveyard for reputation. People have always said he has incorruptible integrity and all of that. We will know after he conducts the 2027 elections. If people still say he has integrity after the 2027 elections, I will know Professor Amupitan has done a good job. But if people say otherwise, I will know that he has not done a good job. You see, I remember when Mahmoud Yakub came in. This was what we said about him. Oh, we said all the nice words too. In fact, we even touted the fact that he had Oxford, and all of that.
First class scholar.
Scholar par excellence. Oh, this is a fitting. But after the elections today, see what has happened. A lot of people thought Mahmoud Yakub was going to redeem himself after the 2019 elections. But 2023, see what has happened. And he tried. But the powers that be in this country, because he brought about those reforms. Truly, and we saw the signs that the reforms were working in the by-elections, where opposition party easily did win. The likes of Osho happened, the likes of, but some people have touted that and say Buhari was just somebody that loved fairness. But when he got to the presidential election, we saw what happened. And today, if you say, analyze the history of Mahmoud Yakub, mostly people will say the 2023 elections were not good. Until today, he's not able to tell us about the technical glitch. So, Professor Amupitan should remember, and I'm going to say it in Yoruba, but I'm going to translate it. There's a saying in Yoruba that says, it's like drumbeat, that we beat the drums of Agidigbo. It is the saying that understands it. So you should understand that a lot of people are praying for him to fail. And that's why you should be more cautious. My father, of blessed memories, Engineer Emerson, will always say something. He will say, those that are helping us to look for something, they are not as much as those that want us to see it. So he should be careful. He will see sabotage. People internally will sabotage. He might have good intentions. You see, the road to hell is paved with good intention. But it's until you execute intentions till the end, that's when the difference will come. You should also be careful of advisors, because they will come. Have you ever wondered why the crown of a Yoruba king has two birds chirping at each other? That's what we call life. He will face many sorts of cancel. Largely, Ayitophelic cancel will be paramount among what he will face. He will face threats. But he should understand that the priority of elections that are credible, that's what should be paramount in the hearts of Nigerians. Most importantly, he will stumble a couple of times. But life is not about stumbling, but it's how you can pick yourself back up. I think the first scorecard will be leading up to the 2027 elections. After 2027 elections, we'll open the book of Professor Amupitan and talk again. I just hope when we open that book, it will be for good for him. Professor Amupitan, I wish you well. I wish you what I wish myself. Nigerians wish you well. But the same Nigerians that wish you well today will not be so happy if we don't get credible elections. Do your part and leave the rest. Moving on to the second subject matter, which is around the PDP.
Yeah, the PDP, legislative matters as well, NNPC.
And NNPC. See, the PDP as a party, when a man is drowning, he still struggles and gasps for breath. At some point, when he struggles and he puts his head to the top, you would think he's about to come out. But the true test of a man struggling in a floating ocean is when he finally comes out. When PDP presents a candidate for the 2027 elections, we will know all of these things they are saying if it's true or not. But as it is today, they are in a notion, they are fighting to stay afloat, but they don't have a life jacket. Because all the centripetal and centrifugal forces have taken away their life jackets. A lot of their members at the campaign, they are hemorrhaging members like no man's business. The way chimney emits smoke, that's the way PDP is emitting members from the National Assembly. Some governors too, we have seen in their core states. So all of this, we will see. But the first test will be their convention. We'll see how they pan out. As regards the NNPC probe, please, it is time for our lawmakers or whoever they are to stop deceiving us and telling us lies. Is it today that we know they spent over 18 billion on NNPC? The probe will not yield anything. Because you see, we keep running around in circle. And that's why I say culture will eat strategy for breakfast in this country. When you have a country where people don't have any level of integrity, were these not the same refineries that were sold that some people still went to deceive President Umar Musa Yar'Adua that they can fix this refinery? Is that not the same deceits that some people used to deceive Buhari? They collected more money. 3 billion down the drain. What happened? Is that not the same deceit that they are continuing today when Ojulari is saying that they need about 60 billion for expansion? They have said this thing long ago. When Atiku Abubakar said it, they said he wanted to sell the refinery to his cronies. But today, they now know Atiku was right. But they will never come out because of politics to say Atiku was right. So what would they do? They will keep whipping a dead horse and expect a turnaround of NNPC. And that's why we do yearly turnaround maintenance, but nothing is turning in the life of NNPC. The case of NNPC should get a turning point at some point.
All right, turning point at some point. So this motion was moved in the House in the Assembly by Honorable Oluwaseun Wingan, and he's from the Badagry Federal Constituency here in Lagos State, and it was to probe the activities, especially the funds spent by the NNPCL in the years under review 2010 to 2024, so about 14 years. Of course, like Rufai, you mentioned, if you go back in time to when at the time President Olusegun Obasanjo had wanted to sell, had actually sold the refineries, saying that they were not viable, they were not making money, and it looked like they couldn't resurrect it. And a few private investors showed interest and actually bought into it. But this transaction was reversed under the President Yar'Adua administration. And since then, and he said they were going to use public funds to try to revive the refineries, Port Harcourt, Kaduna, Warri refineries. Since then, we have been spending money up to the tune of $18 billion. And ladies and gentlemen listening, I'm sure you know that the refineries are not working, despite the many announcements, despite the many promises by GCOs or heads of NNPCL saying that this year, giving deadlines that have not yet been met. And so finally, the lawmakers are saying, you know what, we need to probe this. And they've given themselves a timeline of 4 weeks with the relevant committees to look into the matter, to see, number one, the status of the refinery, number two, how the funds were spent, number three, the bodies, organizations that were responsible for this rot with regards to the refinery. So we wait eagerly, Nigerians, as to what the outcome of that report will be, and very importantly, what happened to the $18 billion, who is responsible for the corruption shrouding that amount of money, and we'll see whether or not, if anyone is found culpable following that investigation, anything would happen to them. Because we cannot continue to have public funds used or managed in such a manner that's wasteful with nothing to show for it. Announcements and budgetary allocations passed by the National Assembly each year, and we have nothing to show for it, and Nigerians continue to look without saying anything. So this is within their remit in terms of oversight. I'm looking forward to not just announcements, but actually a follow through and an outcome of what the report would be. Nigerians need to know what $18 billion or even more was used for in the last 14 years, and where that money has gone, and why should the refineries are not working. And then even a further conversation around, should the refineries now be sold? The current GCO of NNPCL, Mr. Bayo Julari, has not ruled that out completely, because if the NNPCL Nigeria is sinking funds into trying to revive refineries that continue to not work, maybe it's time we sold it and actually come to terms with the fact that it is an asset that we are unable to manage properly. If not for the intervention or the coming on stream of the Dangote refinery, Nigeria would still be largely import dependent. A country that produces crude oil that is exported to many parts of the world continues to import PMS. And so these are some of the questions this morning, and it's a good move, but the most important thing would be what the outcome of this investigation by the committees will be, and what the consequent actions would be following the outcome of the report. We don't want any off your mic moments. We don't want any sweeping under the carpet moments. We don't want any drama. We just want the truth and an uncovering of what has been done with Nigeria's money. Now, moving on to one of the biggest news stories this morning, of course, the Council of State, which comprises some high-level committee. They have no executive function, but they are there to provide advice at a very high level to the president. It comprises the president, who chairs the council, the vice president, former president and heads of government, Attorney General of the Federation, Senate, Speaker of the House of Representatives, the President of the Senate, and as well as other significant members of the Nigerian society. And what they do literally is just like, as it was reported by Adesua Moran, they advise on, they look at the honor roll. They also advise on who should be pardoned, as we heard on the pardoning of Murtala Mohammed and Vasta. That was also approved. They also look at the National Population Census, amongst other duties. And this time, and just to highlight, was them supporting the choice of the president in the person of Professor Amupitan. They have no, they have no executive function, like I mentioned earlier, but at least their support and their advice ought to be well taken by the president, because they come with a wealth of experience and knowledge, having held significant or currently holding significant positions in Nigeria. Now, if you watched last night, this day MD, Mr. Eniola Bello, who has known Professor Amupitan for a significant number of years, had a number of things to say about Professor Amupitan that ought to inspire hope and positive anticipation for a lot of Nigerians. He had spoken, and a number of people have also attested to the brilliance of the man. He's a first-class graduate of law, also did excellently well at the law school, currently Deputy Vice Chancellor at University of Jos for Administration. He's held many positions of leadership, including being the head of department, Dean of Faculty, Chairman of the Committee of Deans, now the Deputy Vice Chancellor. He's also served as on the Council of Legal Education and Institute of Advanced Legal Studies. And so he comes with a wealth of experience, whether it be in corporate governance, law, evidence law. So a number of things there, we can lean on that. In the last INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, was also a scholar in that right. So in that way, competence check. well, the Senate will be the ones to finally determine that. But also, in terms of his personality and values, what Mr. Nila Bello said last night is one that Nigeria should hold on to, which is that he's a man of integrity and humility, that despite all his achievements, he's still not hogged the limelight, but just focused on his work and done it very well. But again, like you mentioned, Rufai, the true taste of the pudding is in the eating. We hear all these glowing testimonials about Professor Amupitan, and it is excellent to know that a good choice based on his competence, based on personal attestation of his values and his person, have come out very strongly. But what Nigerians would judge him on now would be how he would manage the process of elections and how our leadership recruitment process in Nigeria at a critical time in the nation where INEC has come under a lot of scrutiny and criticism. We've not yet been able to get over what happened in 2023, especially since the introduction of technology was supposed to be a game changer and make the institution more transparent and more reputable under the leadership of Professor Mahmoud Yakub. Despite all he said that he tried to prosecute a free and fair election, there were still a number of question marks around areas, Port Harcourt for instance, violence in some parts. We also talked about electoral reform to strengthen the work of the INEC chair. So all eyes now would be on Professor Amupitan. How would he run the institution in a way as to restore the confidence and trust of the Nigerian people? What will happen? He has some tests before the major elections in 2027. We have the Anambra governorship elections coming up soon, and that would probably be one of his biggest tests in his role as INEC chair. So Nigerians are looking forward to, based on his credence, based on his history, based on what people have said, those who know him, based on his academic records, to lead INEC in a way that would leave him a legacy that is not just what he writes about or says, but a legacy based on the work that he has done. I also would also mention that when he appears before Senate, it's also an opportunity for Nigerians who might have any brief on him. If there's any skeleton in his cupboard, this is the time to actually petition or write to your representative in the National Assembly to bring this up. We don't want a situation as we've had in the past where it to just be a take a bow and go, or just a rubber stamp of what the president has presented before the Senate. We want a rigorous and complete scrutiny of what he has done and what he has been able to do. I don't think this man, there are any certificate scandals in his future. I'm sure he's able to defend the certificate he's had in the course of his career. But I think very importantly, some very important scrutiny, and Nigerians should also be part of that process. If there's anyone who knows him personally and knows there are certain things that would make him unqualified to take on that role, this is the time to speak up or forever hold your peace. Finally, on PDP, before you said it already, with regards to, I find it very difficult to see how PDP will survive ahead of the next election. It's a very worrying time, and I'm glad that Mr. Debo Ologwagma has come out to the show.
Good one there, good one. You see, everybody wish you well, George and Amupitan, a professor. Everybody wish you well. We wish you well, to deliver, to do the right thing. What Nigeria are asking you for, it's not a favor it's not a favor. It is mandatory. It is constitutional. The same way Tinubu have the right to appoint you as INEC chairman, it's the same way Nigeria have right to ask you to deliver a credible elections. No, it's not as if somebody is asking you a personal favor. If you could do this, it means a lot to Nigerians, not one person. But if you fail to do that, just you disappoint millions of people. You disappoint them. And it will not be good for your record, for your reputation. Now, INEC chairman, Professor Yahoo left that position shamefully. He shamefully resigned, left the position. Everybody said a lot about you. You are this, you are that, you have integrity. We can't really say it for now. But after election, we have a lot to say. Your book has been opened. It's a blank. The book is blank. Nobody have anything to write. What everybody have to write now is the past. What you did, what you said in the past. Like I did a video of yesterday, what you spoke about, or what you said in 2020. 2020 one issues like we're talking about immunity. These people, they feel that the immunity covers them, they misbehave, they do this, they did that. Now you are not part of them. At that time you were not, and you did not see it coming. You never saw it coming that you were going to be appointed someday as a INEC chairman. Today you are there, and this position are very critical, very important. Do you understand that somebody has to wait for you to make a pronouncement, one pronouncement that could change a lot of things? So deliver on your mandate. Let your integrity speak for you. Let your integrity speak for you. Do not disappoint Nigerians. Welcome aboard. Do your thing. Let people truly indeed say after election, this is who you are. You are truly this. You are not what other people might be thinking. Deliver on your mandate. First time. It's not a must that Tinubu must be president in 2027. It's not a must that Tinubu must be. And again, it is not a must that every other person bidding for this presidential position, it's not a must they must all be. And after all, we have a lot of presidential candidates. One person has to win the election to become the president. It now depends on you who truly deserve it, who qualify, who merits that position, who by voting, who win. That is just it. That's all we are asking. This, if 3 persons come out to vote on that day, 2 persons voted for this Mr. A, 1 person voted for Mr. B. Give the mandate to that person whom 2 persons voted for. Simple as that. There is no ojoro to it. But when you decided to change the figure, give the mandate to that person whom Nigerians already know that 1 person voted for. You decided to change it because you have the power to do so. And you think when you do that, no questioning again. You are trading. You are playing with the lives of Nigerians. The hardship is too much. It's getting too much. I believe one way or the other it has affected you. Yes. And I don't think as a professor with these qualities of, with these certifications that you got, different schools, as a professor, I do not think all your earnings or even the money in your bank account as we speak now, I don't think it is enough with the current situations in this country, with the kind of money requires to contest for an election. I don't think you have it in your bank account. I don't think you have it, even your assets. I don't think you have it. I'm not saying, oh, hey, if you have it, you should come out. I don't think so. We know how much they pay professors in our schools. Yes. So this person you are that hired you now, educationally, you are bigger than him in terms of education. But every other thing is bigger than you. Yet, you know the importance of education. You are a professor. Come, do your thing. Deliver a credible election. Fight for electoral reform before 2027 presidential election. So that people will have a lot to say about you on that time. I rest my case. We see you in 2027 after the presidential election, or even before then. What you are going to be doing now, what you are going to be saying, telling Nigerians, you need to sell your credibilities to Nigerians. We are waiting. We are waiting for you. Please, what do you think? Share this video and subscribe. I be your guy running for me now. Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel.